All right, keeper cut number 2. It is 2 a.m. I have procrastinated and almost missed the deadline on the second day, which is a good start. But we're back. So I did a spot tonight, and I tried a bunch of the stuff I talked about yesterday, so I'm just going to quickly go over kind of how stuff went and my quick little notes before I forget. In future, I'm going to record my set, so then I'll be able to splice that in, so the 4 people watching this, you'll be able to see how stuff is actually progressing in real life, not just my reports of how shows go. I got to the show and had to take a shit, and then as soon as I got out of the bathroom, it was my turn to go up, and I totally forgot to film. But I tried a bunch of the new stuff from yesterday and got some pretty good data. So I'll go over that. Let's see. Gossip versus shit talk. Basically setting up gossip as lowbrow and shit talk as highbrow. That premise didn't really get much laughter, but and it was way too wordy, and there's like a thing I do. I think a lot of people do this when you're nervous about a premise. You're worried about not being understood, so you over-explain the premise. I definitely did that, and there's a lot of words I can cut out. But the line, Vanessa got arrested for shoplifting again, is gossip, and then shit talk is Vanessa's ugly. That hit like really hard. Like it really caught people. So however I said it, I did manage to get that misdirect I was talking about, where you think I'm going to make some lofty statement about their character, and then I just say she's ugly. Maybe a possible tag, like, it doesn't matter what Vanessa steals, she'll still be ugly. It's ugly watching her steal. Just to hit those beats, you know, keep heightening that. Just the meanness and shallowness, I think. I did the sunburn thing. That was kind of the opposite of that, where the premise is sympathy to pain ratio is outrageous. That hit, but then the tags were kind of nothing. Oh, okay, this was interesting. So I tried the horror movie thing, and I set it up like at the end of the movie Hereditary, blah, blah, blah happens. And as soon as I said that, a woman in the audience shushed me. Like, I'm like, yeah, so at the end of Hereditary, and she goes, shh. And I was like, are you shushing me right now? And she's like, yeah, I haven't seen it. I want to see it. Don't spoil it. And normally I would never acquiesce to a heckler yelling at me like that, but you can't like spoil movies. So I was just like, all right. And I made the joke more general, but I realized that I think that's totally fine. Like, all the punchlines still hit. I could just say in all these movies, the devil possesses, you know, a child, your mom, a nun. Oh, and another tag when the devil won't square up, always goes like this. Satan's a demon who's been around since the beginning of time. You never learn to bob and weave. All he can really do is just appear behind you and startle you. But have you ever been startled? It's really fucking annoying. I would fight harder if you startled me and I was like, oh, you fucking asshole. Like, maybe that. A little wordy, but that's my other thing. By the way, those tags are counting towards today's punchlines, which you'll see in like 2 days. But I'm writing those. Those count. I guess that's it. Okay, so now today's stuff. Spanking. So I've got a bit I've been working on so far, and I tagged it up a little bit, but here's kind of the gist of it. You know when you're at a restaurant and they have a food that you're like, am I allowed to be eating this? Is this weird that I'm eating this? Like octopus, where you're like, I think this animal's like really smart. You know, I feel like I can taste its soul, but everyone else is doing it, so you do. That's how I feel about spanking my kids. Like, I don't know if it's wrong, but if we're all doing it, I want to do it. At least once, right? Variety's the spice of life. Oh, it's immoral. To who? The fun police? I always hit as a kid, and I don't even resent my parents, so I don't know. You're really not hurting anyone. Oh, here's a line. Okay, my brother is weirdly skittish now, but that could have been from anything. New tag right there. A couple of these have been new. I forgot to try that today. If you don't try hitting your kids at least once, it's really not for your kids. You're just succumbing to peer pressure, if we're being honest. And what kind of lesson is that for your kids? Expanding on that, I was nervous when my mom spanked us. Dad spanked us, it would hurt. My mom spanked us, I was nervous, because sometimes it wouldn't go well, like she would fail to spank us, and then we were all just embarrassed for her. One time she fell down. I was like, oh my god, all right, that was awful. That was worse than anything. I'll do my homework. She'd have to use props, get a spoon or something. Not Dad, he spanked us a cappella. Spanks didn't really affect me though, because I had a huge juicy ass as a boy. I had a fat ass like a sorority girl when I was a middle school boy. This is true, by the way. It looked exactly like a... So if you just saw my ass in a vacuum from back then, you'd be in prison right now. Ugh, that's terrible. That is hacky. Cut that. I'm gonna try it. Something... I don't like this move, but it might be necessary, because it does this... I've tried some version of this before, and it makes audiences uncomfortable, but something to the effect of, like, if you're uncomfortable hearing about this, imagine living it. I was a young Catholic boy. Imagine trying to live a normal life with this yummy, yummy ass. Trying to tuck my uniform shirt into this dwarf star of an ass. All right, something like that. I was a horny 7th grader. A juicy ass is what I wanted most. The gods in their cruel, punishing way, in a sense, gave it to me. I think that could be funny if I said it, if I make the language more like it's from a Greek tragedy, and then say it like, oh god, that could be good, right? Anyway, so yeah, my ass was so big I was spank-proof. Spanks just bounced right off. They could have caught me doing meth. No punishment would have worked. All that ass bounce, spank me, you'd end up sack tapping yourself. And I'll do a little boop boop, act out maybe. All right, I think that's all I got for that. Mostly the spanking stuff. Oh god, I hope that's it. So that was number 2. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if any of these premises were worth anything. Are you amused by this? Is this helpful? Is there anything you want to hear about? I don't know. Leave a comment. If you leave a comment, that would help me out. But also, I'm interested in what you think. Personal note, what I'm finding is, granted, this is number 2, so who knows, maybe I won't stick with it. I used to do an exercise where me and a couple friends had a group chat, and you had to hit your punchline goals every day, and if you didn't, then you had to Venmo everybody else $1, and that was a pretty good way to stay accountable, but I'm finding this to be a better accountability system. If I feel I'm making something for public consumption, and I have the premise of the thing is that it's every day or whatever, I'm more likely to keep it up. So good to know. So even if no one watches this thing, if it just keeps me writing more consistently than I otherwise would have, it's kind of a success. And then the other fear is like, oh, I'm burning my material when the special comes out. Everyone will have already seen it. As of right now, the first one of these has like 30 views, so I think I'm good. Anyway, thanks for watching. I would love, comment. Let me know what you think. I'm just trying to spark discussion. Good for the algorithm. So that's been Keeper Cut number 2. Thanks.